On the foreign scene, where Russian President Vladimir Putin has approved a record-breaking defense budget, setting aside a third of the government's total spending as the war in Ukraine drains resources from both sides nearly 3 years on. The budget for 2025, which was published on Sunday, allocates about $126 billion to national defense, amounting to 32.5% of government spending. The defense budget is about $28 billion higher than the previous record set this year. The new 3-year budget forecasts a slight reduction in military spending for 2026 and 2027. Lawmakers in both houses of the Russian parliament approved the budget. Russia's war in Ukraine is the biggest conflict in Europe since World War II. Moscow is currently making gains at key spots along the front lines and fighting a counteroffensive in the Kursk region, which is the site of Kyiv's only major military success this year. The war has strained both countries' resources. Back home in Nigeria, the lawmaker representing Abia North Senatorial District, Orji Kalu, has revealed that the self-proclaimed leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Simon Ekpa, threatened him for not supporting Biafra. Kalu stated this during a television interview on Monday, saying he ignored threats from Ekpa for not supporting the agitation for Biafra. The lawmaker urged security agencies to adopt proactive measures to combat crime, noting that security is built on intelligence. He, however, urged the Southeast governors to be resolute and ruthless in dealing with the activities of non-state actors. You will recall that on November 21, the police in Finland arrested the pro-Biafra agitator. He was subsequently sent to prison by the District Court of Pageheim for spreading terrorist propaganda on social media. A Finnish district court has fixed May 2025 for the prosecution to file charges against him. In the meantime, the presidency has dismissed claims that the proposed tax reform bills before the National Assembly would impoverish the North, parts of the northern Nigeria, or disproportionately benefit Lagos and Rivers State. In a statement issued on Monday, presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga said the reforms aim to improve the quality of life for all Nigerians, particularly the disadvantaged, and streamline tax administration to foster a better business environment. The statement followed concerns raised by Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum, who claimed that the proposed value-added tax VAT sharing model might favor Lagos and Rivers State. Ononuga, however, described such reactions as unfounded and based on misinformation. He also clarified that the bills do not propose scrapping agencies like the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, or the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. The spokesperson added that President Tinubu's tax and fiscal policy reforms are intended to simplify tax collection, alleviate the burden on businesses, and support national development. In the meantime, the Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Majesty Nemeka Achebe, has warned the political class over the increasing level of corruption in the country. The monarch urged those in leadership to put public interest above personal and individualistic desires, insisting that this is the only way Nigeria will grow. He shared his concerns over the economic situation in the country in Abuja at the public presentation of a book authored by Senator Chris Anyanwu. His Royal Majesty warned that with the increasing level of corruption in the country, which is akin to milking a cow, the cow would soon die if incorruptible milking was not stopped. He condemned the attitude of the political class towards accountability and good governance, likening it to the ignoble attitude to milking the cow continuously without replenishing and sustaining it. In a recent development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has secured the final forfeiture of an estate located in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). Jude Onwegbuize, judge of the FCT High Court, delivered his verdict in favor of the EFCC on Monday. In a statement, spokesperson of the anti-graft agency Dele Oyewale said the estate, which contains 753 units of duplexes and other apartments, is the largest single asset the EFCC has recovered since it was set up in 2003. The individual who forfeited the property was not mentioned, but Oyewale said it belonged to a former top brass of the government. He noted that the road to the final forfeiture of the property was paved by an interim forfeiture order secured before the same judge in November 1, 2024. He explained that the government official who fraudulently built the estate is being investigated by the EFCC, and the forfeiture of the asset is an important modality of depriving the suspect of the proceeds of crime. EFCC spokesperson said the judge held that the respondent did not show cause as to why he should not lose the property. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a short break and return with the news analysis segment. Do stay tuned. You're still listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Now joining me to discuss issues on the news this afternoon, I have Elder Manford Kalu. He's a political, social and national affairs analyst. Welcome to the World News at 12, Elder, and good afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. So just yesterday, while during a television interview, Senator Orji Kalu disclosed that he had received threats from Simon Ekpa for not supporting Biafra. In fact, he said that he had been warned, he had been threatened rather to make sure that he supports. If not, they would come after him. And this is not the first time that people are alleging to being threatened by people who call themselves IPOB members or agitators, and even Simon Ekpa himself. Would you say that he has gone about his ideologies of Biafra the right way, especially if the senator is coming out to say that this is someone that threatened him? Many Nigerians and Southeasterners have been blaming Southeast governors, senators and lawmakers, political elites in the region for not standing up to these non-state actors. Would you say that these threats are the reason why they decided to step back?
First and foremost, for Simon Ekpa to begin to threaten anybody for not supporting his cause, we, the people in Southeast, notwithstanding, we are not supporting him because what he is doing doesn't show all that the cause is a good cause. You cannot be killing your brothers and be believing that you are doing anything good for them. It's not done anywhere. So if Simon Ekpa begins to threaten anybody or threaten former Governor Orji Kalu, it is not in the right mood. So we don't support him. And it's not everybody that will support your cause. That is just the truth. Everybody cannot support your cause. The cause you are doing, if it's a good cause, you see people that will support you. We know exactly that people doesn't kill their brothers. So why must you be threatening somebody that if he did not support your cause, you will kill him? If you kill everybody, who is going to be with you in the cause when he gets it? So threatening Orji Kalu doesn't make any sense to us.
The Ohanese Indigbo has come out to say that they do not know about him, neither do they support his activities, and the Finland government can do with him however they deem fit. But what they are more concerned about is the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
That is the truth. We don't support evil. People don't support evil. Yes, we might be kicking against what we don't like, but we don't support evil. Simon Ekpa has never been part of the cause for good. And if you see everybody saying that they should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you see that Nnamdi Kanu has never been a person that has killed anybody in this cause. He is only fighting his own legitimately. And everybody that sees Nnamdi Kanu's cause knows that those causes are legitimate in what he is saying. So whatsoever Simon Ekpa is doing, we don't support him because you can't be fighting a cause and be killing your brother and think everybody will come and support you. Then what is the cause for if you're killing your brother? Nnamdi Kanu has never killed anybody. We have been watching whatsoever he has been doing. Yes, a human being
what Ekpa is accused of is inciting terrorism and inciting violence. Are you saying that is something that Kanu himself never did with his utterances?
He has never any time incited violence. He has been a peacemaker all along. With what we are seeing, it's only Simon Ekpa has been inciting and doing all kind of things that we look at it and say, this thing you are doing is not good. And if people say this thing is not good, we are Igbos. We know the things that are good for us. Nnamdi Kanu has not incited any violence to anybody. There will be overzealous people that want to take laws because of one thing or the other. But that is not his own cause. His cause has been a peaceful cause that everybody knows exactly that what he's saying is the truth.
Before now, the Enugu state government...
We have been telling Simon Ekpa to retrieve himself and come back for any cause that is being fight by anybody. We should not kill ourselves because of it.
All right. Before now, that was about last week. The Enugu state government said they are ready to provide evidence of his atrocities in the state to the Finland government. Would you say that that is something that other southeastern governors should also come together for? And also, I want you to recall that just last week, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, said she would do everything within her power to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is released. Do you think that with Nnamdi Kanu's imminent release, based on what the Minister of Foreign Affairs has said, and also with Simon Ekpa's incarceration, that these two events could actually culminate in a reduction in insecurity in the southeast?
We know exactly that what she has said is good. And if Nnamdi Kanu is released, it is going to help in knowing exactly those that have been doing evil in the southeast. Notwithstanding, because I know exactly that there are a lot of soldiers in the east. But we have to ask one or two questions again too. Why is it that those soldiers are there and these things are happening? Because then if you are going to east now, you see any place you are going, they will say come down from your vehicle and carry your hand up. So how come that those soldiers are there and these things are happening? But moreover, we don't support, the truth behind it is we don't support Simon Ekpa in whatsoever he is doing. But if there is a way to release or releasing Nnamdi Kanu from wherever he is, we know exactly that it is going to go a long way to curb whatsoever that is happening in the East.
All right. Thank you, Elder Manford. I want to move on from that to the issue of the tax reform bills, which has been in the news for a while and has been generating quite a bit of controversy with many northern governors, senators and lawmakers alike saying they're not happy about it. The presidency has come out to insist that this bill is not like it's going to favor any part of the country more than the other, because there are actually fears that it will favor Lagos and River State more than other states, especially the northern states. Now, I recall that Borno Governor Bagana Zulum said the VAT sharing model will favor Lagos and River State, and that is why the president put it before the National Assembly to make sure that it was signed. Quite a number of people are in support of the bill, and quite a number are also not in support, are against the bill. Why would you say that there is this vehement disposition of not wanting this bill, actually? Because one part of it proposes lesser taxes for Nigerians and Nigerian businesses. You would think that that is something that the whole country would be able to come together, join hands together and accept. What do you think is the reason for this disgruntled feeling towards these tax reform bills, especially from the political elite in the north?
That bill is a good bill. The bill is a good bill. But the question is, why is it that the Northerners, any time that thing doesn't favor them, whatsoever they want, they don't have it, they begin to agitate?
Is that to say you agree that the tax reform bill does not favor the North?
Why will it favor them? Why will it not favor them? It's a good bill. Any bill that the government is going to bring to reduce the suffering in the country is a good bill. If the bill is going to be for the masses, it's a good bill. But another one again is the implementation of that bill, because a bill might come, the person that is passing it or bringing it will have another side of it in his mind. But for me, the bill is a good bill, but the implementation of that bill is what we are thinking of. Then if the North, every now and then, whatsoever that does not favor them, they will not like it. That is not how they run a country. They don't run a country if you like a thing or if you don't like a thing. It's not done that way. How can they be complaining and saying that the thing will not favor them? Must everything favor the North? Must it favor the North? Why are the senators so agitating that they don't want that bill? They don't want the bill. What is the bill doing to them? That bill is going to wake every state up to make sure that things are worked right. Then if that bill that says that the rich will subsidize the poor, then the rich has milked the poor too much that even the poor don't understand how they will live their life again. So it's a good bill to me. The way I'm saying it is a good bill. But the agitation of the Northerners that they will not like it is going to impoverish them. It's not going to impoverish already. Is it that bill that cost it? So if that bill is going to bring good things for people to live good life, then why are they kicking against it? That is the question. Which of them have they pointed out and said this and this is not good? For me, I would have wanted that bill to be passed. Then if there are ones that amendments will come into, then we look for amendments and do them. Then saying that they should not pass the bill, that they will not want it, it's not a good idea in a good nation.
All right. Political analysts are of the opinion that many of the governors, the other governors opposing these bills, is because they are lazy and they are used to receiving federal allocation. And this bill would actually make them work more towards generating resources from their own states in order to actually help the people in their state. So you would think it is something that they would be receptive to. Would you say it is due to that laziness and due to depending on federal allocation, that is why they are not happy about this bill?
Then the question is, why is it that the northern governors are not looking into their state to make things come up from their people? Why is it that the northern governors are not looking inward into their state to make sure that the citizens in their state look good? Why does it be when allocation comes, then that is when the governors will be happy? Let them look into their state, look inward, and see things that they should agitate that so many things should be done. That federal government should release so many things out and give the state so that they can produce a lot of things in the state for the masses to gain from it. Not only sitting down to look for allocation and change it and put it into their pocket. That is how governance are. The governors should look into their state and look for things that they will do that is going to be good for the masses. Then the masses too will be relieved from so many poverty that is holding everybody.
All right. While we're talking about the people being impoverished, the Obi of Onisha has actually cautioned politicians and the political elite against the milking Nigeria to death. He likened Nigeria to a cow that is being continually milked without being fed. And he's saying that the attitude of the political class towards accountability and good governance is not the best at this moment, saying the political elite are not accountable, politicians are not accountable to the people, and they are not ready or willing to give good governance. Do you also see Nigeria as a cow, cash cow, or whatever kind of cow that is being milked without being fed?
We thank God that Obi of Onitsha has spoken up. And we pray that a lot of prominent Nigerian schools should speak up because the politicians have milked Nigeria. They have milked us in a way that a lot of, if you go to the road now, you see a lot of people trekking because they don't have anything to do, anything to see, anything to eat. A lot of people will be thinking of how they will eat. If you go on the main road now, you just see people stopping you from here to here to here to ask you for arms. So if the OB has spoken, and that is the truth, politicians should look inward and see what to do because they will tell you that they are going to represent the people. And we have seen that they are not representing the people, they are only representing their family and their pocket and their friends. So if OB has spoken, others should speak up so that things will work out right. Government will listen to the masses and know exactly that we are suffering. The masses are suffering. We are suffering. People can't pay their school fees. People can't eat. People can't buy anything on the road. As you are going, you see somebody that will ask you to, please give me money to buy pure water, to eat, to drink. Talk less of to eat. If you are eating, he will not ask you to give him money. So Obi spoke very, very well.
All right, then. From there, I want to talk about, I don't know if you've had the report that the EFCC has seized about 753 duplexes, which are still being developed in an estate in Abuja. Now, this is the single largest asset recovery ever since the EFCC was formed in 2003. That's not to say they have not been able to recover this amount of properties across the board, but from one person, right? And in all the most of the reports, what we've been seeing is that it belongs to a top brass government official who is under investigation by the EFCC. Without this, the EFCC actually telling us who this person is, that they actually recovered this amount of this amount of houses from this that had to be forfeited as the proceeds of whatever criminal case that is going on at the moment. And I want to ask, why do we seem to have this culture of covering up for people who, even though they may still be in court and not yet convicted, but for the EFCC to actually go ahead and retrieve these 753 duplexes, they have their reasons. So why cover the identity of such a person? Why not name and shame so that Nigerians can learn from this person and know that corruption does not pay?
It's a good idea what the EFCC have done. But if it's not going to be reluted again, it would have been very good. Because corruption has eat deep in Nigerians' blood. And most of these top people that are doing it, they don't care. What they do is to loot all this money that the masses were supposed to use in benefiting in their lives. But the one for covering up, maybe the court has not given verdict. But it would have been good that they are named and shamed that people, so that people will know exactly that these are the people that have not made Nigerians good. These are the people that have been suffering Nigerians. These are the people that have been making everybody. You see, a lot of people, some do not have the mind to go and pickpocket anybody, but because of the condition and situation they have seen themselves, they begin to enter one or two things that are not good for the country. So it is good what the EFCC have done. If this money was the money that was supposed to be used in bettering the populace, it's a good thing that they have done. But it is a good thing again that the court should give verdict, and those people should be named and shamed. And not only naming and shaming them, they should be put into prison because they have suffered a lot of masses in this country. Because this money was supposed to be a money that was supposed to be used to better the life of the masses. But they have cornered it and used it only on themselves. So it's a good idea what they have done. But if it's not going to be looted again, that is where the fear is. For me, that is where my fear is. But if it is going to be used to make Nigeria good, it is good for me too.
All right, then. So the presidential candidate of the AAC in last year's election and human rights activist Omoyele Sowore is alleging that he heard from the grapevine. I want to read out what he posted on Twitter just yesterday evening. He said, "I just heard from the grapevine that the 753 duplexes forfeited by an FCT court in Akpo belong to Mohammed Buhari's CBN governor Godwin Emefiele. He reportedly built the estate and more with kickbacks." But the question is, why official EFCC opted to cover up his identity, which is the same question that we're asking right now. If Emefiele is really the one, we know that he's been going through legal battles ever since he was removed as governor of the CBN, right? So why not actually let us know? Would Nigerians be surprised that this proceeds of this is coming out from the case the EFCC instituted against Emefiele? Why cover up his identity?
You see, what Sowore said is the reality. But the truth behind it is we are running a party government. We are running a party government that when you see those high and mighties, what they have done, you will not hear it from anybody. You will not see anybody talk about it. The government will not even want to show their face anywhere. But it would have been good that the government changed their mind because the citizens are aware of a lot of things that is happening. But this cover-up every now and then cannot pay the government very well. It will tempt them back because the government cannot continue to cover evil every now and then. It is good to shame and name these people, even imprison them so that any other person that wants to try it again will not do it because we know exactly that if he is caught, he will go to prison. But leaving it open like that, after collecting it, you let the person go. You will see, you will teach another person how to do it. So we would have begged the government to name these people and shame them. Let us know them because it's done everywhere in good countries. They will tell you that they don't want it and they don't want it and everybody will know about it. So why is it that our own country is hiding most of these high and mighty people? For what? What is the reason for hiding them? What they have done is not good. If the EFCC know that what they have done is not good, why not name them and shame them? Why are you hiding them after collecting the property? So that is it. Let them name them, shame them, because the citizens are aware. The citizens are aware who that is doing all those things. But the government hiding them is not in the best interest of the country.
You talk about your fear that these properties will again be looted. I want you to bear in mind that these are incomplete buildings. They are still actually going through, they're still being built, rather. They are not full houses yet. Now, we have a human rights lawyer who is urging the EFCC and the federal government to allocate these forfeited 752 duplexes in Abuja to medical doctors and civil servants so that they can have a good living place right there in Abuja. Would you support this?
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Let them reallocate it to civil servants, because the money is the money that comes from the country. Let them reallocate it to people so that people can use it and live. And some of this stress will leave a lot of people in their body. But if they begin to hide it, and before you know it, that is where they begin to change the identity of the house, and nobody will know how it will work again. So let them reallocate it to civil servants.
Thank you, Alderman, for that. Time is fast spent and we need to go. Thank you so much for joining me on the World News at 12 this afternoon. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much and have an amazing day. You have been listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that Putin has approved 1/3 of Russia's budget for defense spending. Orji Kalu exposes threats from Simon Ekpa for not supporting Biafra. President saying 6th tax reform bills wouldn't impoverish the North. Obi of Onitsha warns politicians against making Nigeria to death, and EFCC secures for feature of 752 duplexes in largest single asset recovery. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. Coming up shortly is a Action with